Maybe you don't have the job that you want, you don't have the relationship you want, you don't have the money in your bank account that you want. You can still find things to be grateful for, especially in this holiday season. Welcome to another episode of the Liberating Humanity podcast. I'm Paul Hutchinson, and today we're going to talk about the holiday season coming up. There are so many people who dread coming into Christmas and the holiday season because it's filled with anxiety and depression for a lot of people. Many of you know that years ago, I built and sold a company that helped people overcome anxiety, depression, PTSD, addiction disorders, things like that. And through the years, especially in building safe houses and healing retreats, we've realized that most people, almost everybody who's listening to me today, at some time in your life is going to deal with anxiety, is going to deal with depression, is going to be to the point where you're just hopeless, you're feeling like giving up. And sadly, the Christmas season, this holiday season that's coming up, is one that should be happy for all of us. We should be just excited to spend time with family, to receive and give gifts, to just celebrate this beautiful time of the year. But sadly, many people don't. So today I'm going to talk about some key tools that you can use for yourself, for other family members that may be struggling through the holiday season, things that you can do to bring yourself joy, happiness, release that anxiety, release that depression. So thank you for joining me today. We're going to go through some fun stuff. So first of all, it's important to not just suppress those feelings. Be authentic, be who you are. If you're dealing with some stress, if you're dealing with anxiety, acknowledge it. You know, the people that you can't trust are the ones that are happy all the time, you know, this fake smile, yay, yay, yay. But inside, they're getting ready to stab you, or they're getting ready to destroy your life in some way, because they're not being authentic with themselves and with other people about what their feelings are. So it's okay. I've been sad before. I've been depressed before, many, many times. I've gone through some crap in my life. I can't even tell you how major some of the majors are that I've had to deal with. And fortunately, I was given some tools. Early on, when I helped people with anxiety and depression, early on when I was building these companies, early on with some of my mentors, some tools that really helped me work through the things that were heavy, were really majors in my life. And the reality is I encounter people all the time and they're like, oh, this person said this thing to me and I'm just, they're letting it just destroy their life. They're literally making a major out of a minor. One thing that helps with dealing with seasonal depression, seasonal anxiety, or even throughout the year, is putting together a plan. You can call it goal setting, you can call it proper time management, whatever it is. If you're aimlessly going through life, that inevitably is going to create depression and anxiety. You're not going to be happy with the fact that you are stuck and aren't moving forward. In fact, for years, with the thousands and thousands of people that we worked with anxiety and depression, I realized one thing. We as human beings are innately created in a way that two things create happiness. Number one is personal growth and personal progression. And the other one is helping other people progress. I believe that we've existed for millions and millions of years, and the progress to this point of being here on this earth was a progression of being an intelligence that grew and grew and grew. And so here we are in this earthly estate, and we're trying to figure out how to achieve happiness. Well, if you look back in your life and you identify the things that you accomplished, that the times that you were happiest in your life are probably the times where you were growing in some way. You were progressing physically, you were progressing emotionally, your relationship, your financial life, your spiritual life, any of those things, when you were growing and progressing, those were the areas that you found the most happiness. Now, also, especially you have kids, if you look back at the happiest times with your loved ones, it was usually when they were progressing in some way. The time that your baby took his first step, or your daughter said her first word, whatever it was, that progression through life. They made their first basketball basket, they won their first soccer league team, whatever it was. Those were progressions in their life, and you shared in their joy because you helped them progress. And so, as you're looking at ways that you can overcome anxiety and depression in the holiday season, put together some simple goals. I don't make them big and crazy. Something that's just easy and realistic gives your soul that energy that it needs of understanding the fact that you're growing and progressing in some way. Another thing that I have found that is super important is setting realistic expectations. So many times, especially in the holiday season, we have this grandiose idea of perfection, right? Where we've got the table all set up, all of the right people are going to come, and everybody's going to be happy, and this person's going to say this, and this person's going to say this, and everybody. And when you have that kind of restrictive expectations on the events that you're putting together, on your life as a whole, then inevitably it's not going to work out that way. It's not. People make decisions. They decide not to come. They decide to get on in a fight at your event. The turkey might burn, whatever it is, right? Things are going to happen that aren't exactly like you had it planned. Yes, it's good to set goals. I like to say you set your goal of what the end result is, of creating a healthy, happy environment for your family to come together. But the details on the way there, those details can change, and be okay with that. Don't be so rigid in sticking to this perfect plan that you end up getting anxiety over having it to be perfect, or getting depression when it's not perfect. In most cases, anxiety is about the unforeseen future, and depression is about the things that I shoulda, coulda, woulda have done in the past, things that we're not happy with where we are right now. And so if we can release those, in fact, one of the most powerful tools that I have used is learning how to be completely in the present, in the present moment, releasing all of the anxiety about what I want to have planned and perfection, 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 and releasing all of the depression of shoulda, coulda, woulda. I tell people, stop shoulding on yourself, right? If you're I should have done this, I should have called this person, I should have built this relationship, I should have, coulda, woulda. Well, you can't do anything about it. It's the past. Let it go. Just release those things of the past. Allow them to be perfect. Why? The past is perfect. You can't change it. There's nothing we can do to change it. And it created where we are right now. Now, if you're not happy with where you are right now, there are things that you can do to change the future, but don't beat yourself up for things that are in the past. These are all just little teeny tools as we're moving into the holiday season that can make a big difference. Another thing that's super valuable is, of course, spending time with family and friends. Now, there's people that say, yeah, well, my family lives far away, or, I don't have I don't have the ability to just invite them over, or I can't travel. Well, what's beautiful is we live in a time that you can have FaceTime video calls all around the world with loved ones. You can build healthy, loving relationships with people on the other side of the globe in real time. You can invite them to your parties. We've had people that come to birthday parties. In fact, when me and Vanessa got married we actually got married twice in the last year, but the time we got married in Mexico, we decided, you know what? I don't want to have to worry about everybody's lodging coming down, all this other stuff. We're just going to have a little small group, just us and our daughter and a couple friends, and we're going to live stream it. And there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you who joined in on that live stream. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. We got to share that beautiful experience with you. You got to be there as if you were with us. And it would be important for you to include your family members that can't be a part of some of your celebrations. Be aware of the fact that some of them may be experiencing some loneliness. Maybe their lack of proximity to you and the grandkids is something that's difficult for them. Make it easier for them. If you can't travel to them, include them with a video conference and video FaceTime calls and whatnot of your activities. It'll bring them happiness and it will bring you happiness as well. One of my, and I think about depression and loneliness. I don't even remember who sang the song. I just remember, I think it was like in the 70s or 80s. There was a song, the chorus was, "There's two less lonely people in the world," right? It's a great little tune. What does that mean? If you take two lonely people and connect them together, guess what? You have two less lonely people in the world, right? So if you're feeling lonely, go to the old folks' home, spend some time at the retirement home with some of the people maybe that are lonely there. That'll fix your loneliness and theirs, right? It's a beautiful thing to do around this holiday season, is especially if you're in that place of loneliness. Don't sit back and just blame the world. One of the least empowering things, emotions that you can have is that of blame. The very second that you're like, oh, nobody's coming to see me and nobody's doing this and poor little old me. Well, until you take responsibility, there's nothing you can do to change it. Nothing. And so you can sit back and say, oh, I feel bad about this and I feel lonely and whatever else. Or you can say, there's probably somebody else that feels lonely too right now, and they don't have the ability to drive in a car. Maybe they're stuck in a retirement home or something. I'm going to go visit them. I'm going to go maybe visit some people that are in the homeless shelter and whatnot. Let's take this holiday season and spread that joy by ensuring that there's nobody out there that has to be lonely, that you can share your heart and your time with them. Another song that just came to my mind while I was talking. I remember my mom when I was a little kid. She taught me all these fun little songs, and one of them was this. She said, I don't remember the tune. Love is like a magic penny. You keep it to yourself and you don't have any. You give it away and you'll have so many, it'll roll all over the floor. It's a silly song, but guess what? It's incredibly powerful. You try to keep all that stuff to yourself. You keep your love to yourself and you don't spread it. Guess what? It's like a magic penny. You keep it to yourself and you won't have any. You give it away and you'll have so many, it'll roll all over the floor. You give that love away. Love is an infinite emotion. Unconditional love, literally, you will never, ever, ever, ever run out of it, ever. It's something you could give abundantly your entire life and get more and more and more in return. Another tool that you've heard me talk about a lot, but it's incredibly important this time of year, is charity work, is volunteering, giving away your time and helping other people. You think, oh, I got so much going on. I've got, I got to take care of this, got to take care of this. I've got all these plans and whatnot. Take some time back away from this crazy busy schedule that you're creating for yourself and donate some time to helping others in need. I promise you that that will be the greatest gift you can give to others and yourself during the holiday season. Even if it's not donating massive amounts of money, find some time. Find some time that you can donate at there's all kinds of safe houses for children all around the world. There's places that are housing families that are out of work during this holiday season. Find something to do where you can make a meaningful impact in the lives of other people. And then don't just keep it to the holiday season. Once you've gone out and spent your time to making a difference in the lives of others, get into a habit of that. And you've heard me talking about how the majority of the financial success that I've experienced in my businesses, I'm going to attribute to a beautiful law. This law of charity, of giving back. I believe you can call it karma, you can call it gifts from God, you can call it the universal law of exchange, whatever you want to call it. There's a power, a divine loving power, very interested in us doing good. And as we donate that time, as we donate that money to making a positive impact in the lives of others, the blessings that come back to you in every area of your life will be overflowing in a way where there will not be room enough to receive it. I promise you. Donate 10% or more of your money and 10% or more of your time, and the windows of heaven will open and you will receive so many beautiful blessings in your life. Another thing that I use to help with anxiety and also depression is practicing gratitude, deep, honest gratitude. In fact, in another podcast, I'm going to be talking about my meditation techniques in prayer. I believe that when you're meditating, when you're tuning in, it's similar to those old radios where you had to tune it in just right to be able to get to the right station, and if you were off, it would just be fuzzy. Well, those radio stations, that music was flowing through the ether. You just had to tune in order to hear it, in order to listen. Well, to me, in order to really listen to divine guidance, I need to figure out how to tune that frequency to the right place where I can hear. So many times in prayer, it's very much a one-sided conversation. We're like, hey, yeah, God, thanks for this and sorry for this and please bless this and amen, and you move on. It's literally, and most of you don't even pray. And that's another thing we're going to talk about in some other podcasts, is how important that is in your happiness. Overcoming anxiety and depression is probably number one, is having a healthy relationship with your creator. In fact, I touched on this at my last conference. 50% of marriages end up in divorce in the United States. If I could tell you one thing that you could do that would take 2 to 5 minutes a day to take that from a 50%, literally 1 in 2, to 1 in 1,000, less than 0.01%. In fact, the number goes from 50% to 1 in 1,152. Guess what that thing is? Simply pray with your spouse every day. That one thing alone takes that divorce rate from 1 in 2 to 1 in 1,000 plus. And so that's also a tool in overcoming anxiety and depression. And it's a powerful tool in overcoming addictions and other things like that. In fact, in the Alcoholics Anonymous, the 12-step process, one of them is the acknowledgement of a higher power, and connecting with that higher power, and acknowledging that you are powerless without God in your life. So again, this is not me preaching, join some religion. No, this is connect with your creator, connect with God. And your prayers don't have to be, our Father who art, you have to be memorized. You can just say, hey, God, thank you. And it can be just a prayer of pure gratitude. So back where I got onto this frequency thing on the meditations is, in order for me to really tune in that meditative state, I focus on two emotions. One is unconditional love, God's love for myself, for humanity, for all things. Once I can really tune into that high frequency of unconditional love, and then I tune into that frequency of gratitude. And I feel deep gratitude for everything in my life that are beautiful, beautiful blessings. And then I feel deep gratitude for the things in my past that brought me to here, all of these beautiful things. And then I even focus on the things that were not too good, but I learned from them and they brought me to where I am today. And I feel gratitude for those. And then I focus on gratitude for the future of the things that I'm creating and the things that I'm bringing into my life. Gratitude for all that is, all that was, and all that will be is a really beautiful, powerful tool in overcoming anxiety, overcoming depression, especially during this beautiful season. And find things that it doesn't matter. I don't care if maybe you don't have the job that you want, you don't have the relationship you want, you don't have the money in your bank account that you want. You can still find things to be grateful for, especially in this holiday season. Grateful for the people that have lived, that have brought us the beautiful truths that we enjoy today, there's so many things that we can be grateful for as we go into this holiday season. So tune into that high frequency of gratitude for all that is, all that was, and all that will be. And I believe that the purest form of faith is gratitude for those things that are coming, that are not here yet. Gratitude for that relationship that you are bringing into your life. Gratitude for a healthy children as they grow and progress throughout life. Gratitude for the financial abundance that you are creating in the future in your life. Expressing that gratitude for things that aren't even here yet is incredibly powerful. In fact, you know, I've talked many times about that manifestation and the ability to identify things in my life that I wanted to create. And I tune into those things. I imagine myself already there, and I imagine all of the emotions that are tied to having that already in my life, especially that emotion of gratitude. And in doing that, it's amazing how it then literally brings the powers of the universe together that conspire for your good in creating those things in your life that you're wanting to attract. Another really powerful emotion or very powerful activity that you can do to release anxiety, to release depression coming into this holiday season is a principle called forgiveness. Forgiveness to yourself for things of your past. Almost every one of us hold on to this anger towards ourselves for stupid things. We all did stupid things, all of us, every one of us has said something that we regret to another person. Every one of us has hurt a relationship somehow in our life. Every one of us have made decisions that cost us time or money. Every one of us have acted out of integrity at some time in our lives. So forgive. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Holding on to those negative feelings towards other people for things that they did is cankering your life. And especially come into this holiday season, how many of you right now have somebody in your life that you have 86, you're done with them. They said something 5 years ago, they said something 10 years ago, they were at one of your Christmas parties and they brought up a subject that you didn't like, whatever it was, right? And you cut them out of your life. And year after year after year, the beauty that could come from a healthy relationship with your brother, with your father, with your mother, with your sister, with your cousin, with your old best friend, whatever it is, that beautiful, healthy relationship that could be, you're blocking it. You're blocking it because you haven't forgiven them. Now, if they're still toxic, forgiveness doesn't mean that you invite them back in if they're still being toxic and negatively affect your kids or other people in your life. However, you can release that negative energy, and if indeed they have chosen to move forward and release themselves from all that negativity, then explore having a healthy relationship. Send them a text, give them a phone call. This is the most important time of year to do so, and just do it just because. Call them up and say, "Hey, Dad, we haven't talked in a while. I just want you to know I love you. And I hope you're doing great. And by the way, if you want to come over to watch the kids open presents, that would be beautiful." The scriptures say to forgive 70 times 7. So I just did that math really quick because I didn't before. That's 490 times, right? That's a bunch. And if you're counting how many times you forgave somebody, chances are you didn't forgive them 500 times, right? And so what that means, and I think that forgiveness is more about you than them, okay? Your decision to forgive somebody else for screwing up is not going to dictate their salvation. It's not going to dictate their connection with God. It's not going to change their spiritual future in any way. But it does everything for you. Because when you're holding on to that toxic energy, it's going to show up in physical manifestations of disease and anxiety and depression. These are things that are prominent in our society because of the fact that we all hold on to all this negativity and we don't release it. And so I would admonish you at this holiday season to get rid of the things that don't serve you. Get rid of some social media. I say that and you're listening to me on social media, but if you're spending all your time looking at all the amazing lifestyles of other people and then you get depressed about your own, turn it off. Go outside, connect with nature. So I'm going to sum it up with 3 things that I think are kind of bring everything else into perspective here that you can do to work through depression and anxiety during this upcoming Christmas season. Number 1, I would say, is connection. Connect with loved ones. Forgive them, release that negative energy, give them a call, give them a text, connect with those people who are lonely. Go spend some time at the retirement home and spend some time with the people there that maybe their loved ones are far away. Do some video calls with them, but connect. Connect with other people. Don't wait for them to connect with you. Reach out. Reach out. Be the bigger person. Be the person that's creating 2 less lonely people in the world. The second one is healthy activities. Go outside. Get out of the house. Don't sit here watching the social media all the time, right? Go outside, connect with nature, go connect with other people, volunteer, get outside of your normal rut. Anxiety is when you're doing the same thing over and over and over again and not getting the results that you're looking for. Break out of that and be flexible. The last tool that kind of sums up a few of the things that I talked about is setting realistic expectations. Don't expect everything to be perfect. Everything is already perfectly imperfect as they are. And if you're waiting to have all the lights green before you go to work, you'll never get there. If you're planning exactly how everything is going to turn out during the Christmas season, it won't. And inevitably, it's going to create some overwhelming anxiety that things aren't turning out the way that you want. So release that expectation, go with the flow, connect with other people, forgive when you need to forgive, tune in to that high frequency of gratitude, and connect with God. And may you have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for spending time with me today on the Liberating Humanity podcast. And share this. I would love you to share some of my podcasts with other people. Our goal is just to uplift humanity, have us break free of the crap that's holding us down. That's what Liberating Humanity is all about. If we can help adults live healthier, emotionally healthier lives, then we're going to save millions of children. So thank you for spending time with me today.